All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to. I thought something was wrong there. Welcome to the G.W.R. Gonzo'S wrestling room. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Get Marcus back in there. We lost Marcus for a second, but we'll get him right back. But welcome to Gonzo'S wrestling room, Monday, February 12th, 2024. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. We're joined tonight by Warren Misery, Austin Gonzalez, and here shortly by Marcus Fine, like always.
Yep. I was going to have another guest. Jordan Bell was going to join us, but he had a medical emergency earlier today, and I don't think we'll be able to make it. It don't look like. So hopefully we'll be able to have Jordan on some other time. Hopefully we'll get Marcus back here because he had the first part of the show.
I'm keeping his spot warm up here while he's gone. So
There he is.
Hey, how's it going, Billy? How's it going, the doctor? Got Chris Chaos is in here watching.
one and only, baby.
Justin Danger.
Daniel on here, Justin Danger. Looks like we have Marcus back. There he is.
Oh, who knows? I guess you don't screw around with buttons, and this is what happens. Because I was trying to change my stats, and then it dropped me out. I don't know.
We just thought you said, "Fuck it, I ain't doing the show tonight."
Hey, yeah, that's it.
Mark's like, Warren's on, I'm out. I'm done. The hell with him.
Well, I'm like, what the hell? I guess don't you screw with buttons while you? That's what happens. Drops you out.
Okay, well,
Hey, David.
I think we'll get started. Marcus, you ready to start things off with the
Oh man, I got a bunch of stuff to cover.
independent report?
First off, I got a couple things to cover here. Terry Coons wants me to ask you, Tony, if you know how much the Juneteenth tickets are going to be this year.
The Juneteenth tickets, they're 100% free.
Is that for both shows?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to speak for Newcastle. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to take a wild guess yes, but I don't know that for 100%.
So that's for fact. It's free for both shows.
Okay.
Then I have a shout out.
Oh,
Referee Andy. Nope, that's not right. I knew I'd screw this up. Referee Andre Santos, one of the best independent referees ever to grace a squared circle anywhere. So there you go, Andre Santos. You wanted the shout out. You didn't think I'd do it Saturday. There it is. So,
How much would you pay for this shout out?
well, this was free. First one's always free. The first ones are always free.
is that how you usually do your stuff, Chris? Is usually the first one's free?
Okay.
Oh, okay. We're moving on.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, lots of stuff to cover. We'll go back to the weekend prior. It wasn't on last Monday. I will just cover the highlights. NGW in Crawfordsville, we've seen Tyler Scott win the Battle Royal to become the #1 contender to take on Jason Levi in the main event. Then in an interesting stipulation set of matches, the tag team champions come out and challenged Zay Gates and Excalibur one-on-one matches. If either one of those guys could pin anybody, either one of the tag team champs, then they automatically get a tag team title shot the next show. Jesse Winchester defeated Zay Gates, but then Excalibur defeated D-Buck Sexton, so this match is set for March 2nd, I think it is. NGW Crawfordsville for the tag team championship, and it has now been deemed a Texas Tornado match for that titles. So main event show, Jason Levi defeating Tyler Scott, and in the match of the night, Justin Danger defeated Chris Chaos in one hell of a dog collar match. It included thumbtacks, the chain getting wrapped around the bottom rope, smacking each other. Cold X got involved, got thumped out on the outside, had a takeover. Tony had to be set in the front row. They got him, plopped him in the front row, gave him a lollipop to keep him quiet, and they came over and took over. And pretty good
you guys
night.
don't know how to get. You guys aren't very good at getting bribes. He does them for free. They give you a lollipop, and you're good.
Well, that's the first time he ever had a dud. You know, he did want Tony over there crying about it. So here, shave up, take this. So, okay, then courtesy of Roger Moore, our good buddy, I will just go over the title changes at Emerge in Columbus last Saturday. Jordan Cage and Chris Owens defeated Sean Kemp and Chase Holiday. They are the new Emerge Tag Team Champions. And Lord Crew defeated Chip Ripley and is now the new Outbreak Champion. So that's what took place a week ago this past weekend.
Hey, Marcus, I want to go back real quick to NGW and that dog collar match.
Real quick, I wanted to answer this question real quick.
Okay.
The doctor, no, we were talking about Newcastle, Indiana.
Yes.
We'll be there's a show there.
25th. I just had that too. Whatever the third week in June is.
Okay. Real quick, I want to go back to that dog collar match. I've got to see, I believe personally, in independent wrestling the last 2.5 to 3 years, 3 dog collar matches that I've got to witness personally, and that's the best dog collar match I've seen. So I want to give them guys a shout out. It was fantastic. All 3 of them I've seen were real good, but that one personally for me was the best one I've seen.
I agree.
Those guys put in a lot of work and a lot of time in perfecting that, and I couldn't be more proud to have been ringside for both of them. It was great.
And we wish nothing but the best of luck to Chris Chaos, as that was his retirement match, and got a standing ovation and hugs from a lot of people that normally boo him, including his very own ring rat, who came up and gave him a hug. So that'll stir him up. It's all in fun. All right, I missed something from last weekend also. I got the results finally from Ferguson, Kentucky. I told them guys they wanted to know if I could run their results off too. So I got them. Tony Corral defeated Premia Di Gallo. It was a non-title match. The TCW Television Championship round 1. Chris Crow defeated Dwayne Davis. Then the TCW Television Championship qualifier round. Christopher Matthews defeated Kevin Sinclair. Then they had intermission. And then a match that took place, it would be for the #1 contender for an AIWF TV title, which is a different championship. Charles Colton defeated Adrian Alexander. And the main event saw Tyler Lee Deputy defeating Brandon Wolf, and he also was in a TCW TV title championship qualifier. So that's courtesy of the guys down in Ferguson. All right. This past weekend. Let's see. All right. I was at the Dub on Friday. Zay Gates won a scramble match that included Waterboy Jake Elliott and Timmy Jackson. After the match, Logan Myers challenged him for his gunslinger title later in the night. Brody Bawkins defeated Cameron Saturn. TJ Powers defeated Maliko via DQ. Luke Savage defeated Ashton Adonis. In a triple threat match between Pogo and Max Sterling, Phoenix and Jackson Morgan, and Ruthless Domination ended in a DQ. Go figure out how the hell that ever took place. But
Yeah, Mark's still out.
Pogo was chewing on Hammer's head. The referee DQ'd Pogo, but nobody knows who what. All we know is Pogo was DQ'd, but it was a triple threat, and
Which is
so we're
normally
all
a DQ.
ref don't DQ triple threats, and well, he did it anyway, and it's like, okay, so now tell us who won, and well, we still don't know. But Dylan Bostic defeated Dalton Love, and then Zay Gates defeated Logan Myers to retain the gunslinger title. And main event saw the Outlaw champion Hidari defeat the territorial champion Kenneth James via DQ. I'm going to go ahead and give you Saturday's JICW results. This is courtesy of Roger Moore, JICW. Kodo defeated Levi Motionless. Jay Hayes won a battle royal against Max. Jay Hayes won a battle royal and will take on Max Sterling for the vacated ICW title. Saul Marston defeated Casey Grimm Santos. Tyler D. Deputy defeated Rattel Carter. AZK defeated Percy Drews. Storm Gonzon retained her title against Vanessa Holiday. Johnny Scratch defeated Big T Thomas Moore. Jay Hayes then defeated Max Sterling and is now the new JICW Intercontinental title holder. The Solution defeated Mount Olympus, and Tyler Scott retained his title against Avery Hertz. Okay. That's thanks to Roger Moore. So, now, Saturday, big show in Marion. Intense Championship Wrestling. It was a fundraiser for a little boy who has cancer. They raised $3,875 in that event. Full house, I'm guessing 300 plus. And the results from that showed Ricky Guns defeated Dynamite, Danny G, and Casey Blade in a triple threat match. Zay Gates defeated Juwan Thomas. Now, if you know the history behind that, that was a big win. Chris Owens defeated Rick Fidel in a match I never thought I'd ever see take place. Logan Myers and Jake Oman defeated the 8-Bit Punks. Carter Kaufman defeated Layla Feast. Jake Elliott defeated Christian Cash. Brody Bawkins defeated Mike King in a hardcore match. Now that was something wicked. They were hitting each other with pizza pans, cookie sheets. The guardrail, literally picked up the guardrail and dropped it on him. Fought through the fans. It was pretty good. That was my match of the night. Roger Malcolm defeated Kevin Panic. And in the main event, Hillbilly Jed, Troy Miller, and Lennox King defeated the Face Collector, Chris Gordon, and Hank Calhoun. Very well done show.
Yeah, congratulations to Brody Bawkins and all the people that helped out on that fundraiser. And Chris didn't get to attend, unfortunately, because of Chris being sick and everything. But definitely wanted to give them a shout out. I know it's the first show that Brody's ever put together. I think he may be doing some more shows, hopefully. Looks like he had a big success there. And congratulations to him. And again, a shout out to all the people that helped him and his sponsors and stuff for doing a great job.
ICW?
Yes, ICW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucked to not get to go to that show Saturday night. So.
Yeah, definitely, because Brody's a great guy, and I wanted to help, support him and stuff. But I mean,
hey, how's it going, Phil?
Well, Marcus, is that it for the indie report?
I have that. Do you want the micro rundown?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and do the micro.
Right, well, I got last week's. Let me go back and find it. Tuesday, tomorrow is the finale, the season finale. It's only a 6-show run. I thought it was a 10, but I guess it's only a 6. All right, Big Little Brawlers, episode 4. Jack, which is the guy that owns the whole thing, they overbooked the motel and he had to find a new booking. Andrew the Giant is still on this diet, but started training. Jay Mazing, which is his roommate, they kind of went into his apartment and seen that Andrew's a slob in general, stinks, needs a shower, very well unkept. I mean, they really kind of degraded the guy. Ivar is in training, jammed his knee, given a boot. Oh, and see, I seen this a week ago. Hot Rod is coming off that injury. Did you watch that, Tony? Did you see
No, I
where
have
his
not
head
yet.
was that cement? Oh my goodness! Every time they show it, it just puts. Oh. But he was literally getting back in the ring, but had a good talk with Little Show. And Psycho was practicing 450s and had to go to Hurricanranas because he just couldn't get the 450. He couldn't get that full flip around. That was 2 weeks ago. This past week, well, that's my questions. You don't want those. The other reason, what the hell's that? Oh, here we go. Let's get ready. It's like, why how's that fit in there? Okay, Micro One went back on the road, and Psycho went with him. Pinky and Little Chono was training because they're trying to get into that Microfest. Psycho is now part of the road crew, and of course, they evidently do the same thing in the micros that the independents do, because to initiate him, they all took chops on him and then kicked the shit out of him and had a bare butt Andrew the Giant stink face. So they really initiated him well. Pinky's mad that he's not answering the phone because now he's on the road and he's partying too hard. And they did a weigh-in for Andrew the Giant, who they said was going to lose 100 pounds in 6 weeks, but he only lost 10. So they really expect him to lose 100 pounds in 6 weeks. And you want the matches? They got the matches set up for Microfest.
Okay.
Chief Littlefoot will take on Ben Urkel. Disco Dom will take on Zach Presley and Ivar in a triple threat, so Ivar will be in there. Jamaican Joe will take on Baby Jesus. Psycho had to go back to the Microtorium because they're going to put him and Pinky Shortcake in a match, and he was pissed because now he's back off the road and back at the Microtorium. And Little Show will take on Hot Rod in a cage match, and you can watch that tomorrow night on Discovery Channel. So,
Hey, Austin, the micros are going to be in Muncie. You going to go watch it?
I don't know.
We'll be there July 16th, I believe.
16, 17, something like that.
It might be part of the fair because that's right around the time of. That's pretty close to when our fair would be.
Yeah. I don't know if I get some free time. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to see. I want to go to more shows that you guys go to. Having to work every other week.
I agree with you about indie wrestlers having heart, about being hurt and having to go to other jobs. Since we've been going to a lot of these shows, and we broadcast a lot of the shows live. We would last weekend, but we didn't get to. We'll be doing the show this weekend. But yeah, you see a lot of these guys for what they make and what they put their bodies through. They're tough.
No doubt tough, and they have passion and love for the wrestling and for the fans, and living out their dreams, even though maybe not making it on the big stage. It's still a dream for them, and they're trying to make it come through. Well.
Oh, Glenn wants to know if you're going to wrestle the micros.
No.
He, to be honest with you, he does fit the criteria. He is under 5 foot. That's all that's required. Well, I guess you got betrayed, but
I did see one. I did see one the other night that I thought I might take.
We could sit him down the duck for a month. Joey whip him into shape.
Yeah, he would.
A month. I wouldn't last a day. I wouldn't last 10 minutes.
So who did you want to take on?
Oh, there was a wrestler. He wrestles in MLW, but he was on Game Changer Wrestling the other day. His name is Micro Man. He's actually probably smaller than Ivar.
Well, that's hard to believe. Ivar's just barely 3 foot.
This guy's not 3 foot.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he's 3 foot.
And he wrestled a guy that was probably over 5 foot, or at least 5 foot. And but it was pretty good. It was pretty interesting.
The dude was slamming the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, he was.
I thought he was going to kill the little man.
Hey, Chris, didn't you hear Tony say he wanted to take on Jason Levi?
No, I did not say that.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, at NGW. Yeah, I heard him say that. Yeah.
I did not say that. No way, no how did I say that?
He said no hold bars.
Hey,
no
how's it going, Alex?
Yeah.
Alex said his 2-year-old is 3 foot.
Okay, I think that's it for the indie report.
Yeah, we're all caught up.
We'll do our top fives. I'll go ahead and do my top five for pro wrestling for the month of January. My number 5 was Jordan Grace. My number 4 was Drew McIntyre. My number 3 was Swerve Strickland. My number 2 was Bailey. And my number 1 for January was Cody Rhodes. That was for January for the my pro wrestling. Okay, we got our top fives for the independents now. Chris, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. At number 5, I had Jesse Winchester. Number 4, I had Blake Money Wright. Number 3, I had IK3. Number 2, I had Hadari. And number 1, Zay Gates.
Okay, I'll go next, and then Marcus can finish it up. My number 5 was Michael Elgin. My number 4 was Jesse Winchester. My number 3 was IK3. And my number 2 was Adari. And my number 1 was Zay Gates.
You copy my shit?
No, I had not seen your stuff. But you just did your stuff today. Mine's been done for a week.
No, mine's been done since yesterday.
Okay.
For a show that was supposed to happen last week. Okay.
Hey, I was going to have it done last week, but then I had some extra time. And then I got sick and it got pushed back, but it got done.
Yeah. My number 5 was Brandon Day. My number 4 was Michael Elgin. Number 3 was Jesse Winchester. 2 was Hidari, and 1 was Zay Gates. And Zay Gates is still doing it. I mean, gee, it's like he needs to slow down so he could put somebody else in the number 1 spot because that's
killing it, man.
So all 3 of ours 1 and 2s were the same.
Yep, sure were. Okay, guys, we're going to move on. And before we get to our questions, I did have one topic that I wanted to touch on that happened this past Thursday. I wanted to get you guys' thoughts about it. And that was the press conference WWE did in Las Vegas. First time they did. I really don't think it was a press conference.
Yeah.
That's what at least they billed it as. And I wanted to get you guys' thoughts and where they're going with this. Austin, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it got me even more excited for it. You know, I kind of like the way it ended. You know, having those foreign commentary too, the way it started, CM Punk, Big E, Pat McAfee, and Cole. I'd like to see Big E and CM Punk on commentary more. They were great. And we can talk talking more about what happened once we get into it more.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. At first, I heard it was free, but then when I listened to Busted Open, I heard they sold tickets up front, and it included a cocktail party and food and everything, and tickets went for $2,500.
Well, maybe it was just up and the seats were free.
Yeah,
because I'd heard it was free too.
But there was some stuff that they sold too. So I guess I wasn't aware of that until I heard that on Busted Open. But I really enjoyed it. One thing I know Marcus brought up, and I heard other people bring up, and I agree with. And then there was something else I heard and I didn't agree with. The first thing was Bailey. I didn't understand why Bailey wasn't there. I know they featured her. I think, but since that match was already announced, I think that's why she wasn't on there. And they kind of did a big segment on SmackDown. But I kind of think since she was in the main event, going to be in they say the main event of WrestleMania, whether she's going to be or not, I don't know. But I felt like she should have been there and should have been highlighted, Bailey and Sky. Even if you just do a face-off.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, they had Bianca come out there, which I think she should be out there. But I mean, as of right now, Bianca doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. Bailey does. So I think they could have fit her in. She deserves to be on there. But I don't know. Maybe they're kind of gonna. I seen Bailey say something about it and kind of going the underdog source. Or maybe it's just that to kind of build up the fans getting behind her. So
that could be too.
Glenn said that they had on-location experience packages, If you got a $2,500 package, you got a signed Cody weight bet.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And I know you got food and some stuff too involved. The other thing,
And Doctor, I'll have to we'll have to check that out. Imagine Wrestling, big here in Western Pennsylvania. He said Shane Douglas involved. So Imagine Wrestling, that might be some organization to check out.
yeah, most definitely. The other thing, I know Busted Open felt like a lot of the people on there felt like that Seth Rollins was not used well and was kind of in the background. I didn't really get that. I mean, I know he was there trying to help out Cody, and some people thought he was made to look bad. I really didn't get that feel. I just think he's part of the story. And then also with the video coming out last night, I don't know if people seen it. They released at 6:00 last night a promo video. It looks like I think they're going to do a tag match at WrestleMania, and I think these guys are going to be doing double duty. I think these guys are all going to be wrestling on night 1 and night 2.
So, yeah, I mean, it said WrestleMania, but like, you don't think they'll try to just do that at like Elimination Chamber, maybe like the night before, like maybe like a couple nights before, maybe the Friday, SmackDown before WrestleMania or something. I don't know.
Well, what I've been reading is they said The Rock's only signed on for Mania. They said The Rock isn't signed on for anything else.
Yeah.
So my only thing about that is
I guess
they do that tag
I guess as the director of the board now, though, he can basically sign himself in and out whenever he wants.
Well, that's true too.
I mean, if they do that tag match on,
I wouldn't think he's going to wrestle much.
No. But if they do that Saturday, does that mean that's the main event on Saturday and then the main event on Sunday is Cody and Roman? I don't think they should get both main events.
I don't feel that tag match would.
It would be a main
have
event.
A main event pull to it. I mean, maybe
it would be a main event.
Maybe an open, do it to open
Well,
and get everyone going.
yeah,
I think they would make it the main event.
First night.
I don't know. I think Becky and Rhea would be good.
That should be the main event for night 1.
They might do that. They might do that as the first match to open it up with. That's a possibility. But we also know that right now they got Elimination Chamber, and Seth's going to wrestle the winner of the Elimination Chamber, so he's going to have to pull double duty too. If he's a tag match, so his match, he would have a match on Saturday night also, I would assume.
Yeah, but just to go back on you saying that people were saying Seth Rollins fell out of place, he looked bad. I don't agree either. I mean, he fit in perfect with that because the ties with Cody and him trying to get the match with Cody, but he also has ties with Roman, of course, and The Rock and Triple H are button heads. He has ties with Triple H. He was kind of his start. I don't know. I think he fits, and
I do too.
I think that tag match makes sense. I want to see that. Just hopefully, I'd kind of rather it be Elimination Chamber, but.
Well, I think we'll find out Friday night.
The way the advertisement looked like, that video I watched, it looked like they're doing it at
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
it said WrestleMania trailer. That's what it said. It looked like a movie trailer.
Yep, that's what it looked like.
And if they do that, I can see them guys wrestling again the next night.
And that might be a way to protect Rock too. Rock may not be ready to wrestle a singles match. That may be a way to protect him.
Yeah.
And this all could be just to try to keep everybody off what they're actually going to do.
But let me ask you guys this: do you think this was the plans all along, or do you think they was going to do the Rock and Roman match, and they shifted gears after the Backlash?
No, I think that's
now.
exactly.
Yeah. Now I think they planned it all along. Now, like looking back at it, and after seeing some stuff, reading stuff, it does make sense that it was planned from the start. It seems like The Rock is trying to make Cody even bigger than what Daniel was. So I'd like to think that's true, but I don't know for sure. But it seems that way to me.
I don't think they've shifted. I don't think they've shifted plans. I think it's going as. I think they're doing what they planned. The only thing that might have changed is because of Punk getting hurt. But I don't think anything with their plans with like Roman and Cody or Roman and Rock has changed.
I don't think so either.
Here's this question: if CM Punk wasn't hurt, would he have taken Seth Rollins' place? Because he has just as much in that tag match as Seth with the Rock thing.
I think the pivot was the tag team match.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think the pivot was the tag team, if there was a pivot, if there is a tag match. But I think it was going to be Cody and Roman all along. I don't think The Rock was ever going to wrestle
Yeah.
Roman or Cody. That's my opinion. I think you'll see that someday. Maybe SummerSlam, maybe who knows. But I think we'll see that eventually. There's a lot of people think that Rock's going to be the big heel, and the Roman eventually is going to be a good guy again.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a good bloodline and a bad bloodline.
I don't think Roman should ever be a good guy again.
Maybe like
Personally.
You just don't like Roman at all.
I mean,
No, I'm being serious. Like Roman couldn't get over as a good guy. Even now, I don't think he'd get over. I think maybe for like a month, and then he wouldn't. He's meant to be a bad guy. I don't think him being a good guy is really the right place.
because it'd be hard to fit in there. Like what, you need that moment, that change. So who in the bloodline outside of the Rock? I mean, does Solo hold enough? Does Jimmy who holds enough to make Roman the change where the fans are gonna be like, yes, he's helping Cody. Like,
I mean,
it'd definitely be tough to get back to face.
I think if you put Jay and Jimmy back together as good guys, they could go with Roman. And if you bring in guys like Jacob Fatu and go with The Rock and also Solo, I think that could be interesting. I think Jacob Fatu is going to be in the WWE.
Oh yeah, he'll be there eventually. Yeah.
well, you see on the family tree, Naomi was also in that family tree. Like they showed that. Like they haven't really showed that on TV that they're connected. So maybe they'll throw her in there somewhere.
You got Nia Jax. You got
we don't care about Nia.
Nah.
I know you hate Nia. I know.
I do too.
I don't hate her as a person or anything.
She's
Yeah.
just big.
I've basically though with this whole thing now, I'm just done trying to figure it all out. I'm just throwing it out there, letting see what they do, and let Jesus take the wheel when WrestleMania hits. I've scorched my brain so much trying to all the possibilities. I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride.
Well, I agree. I think that's a good thing. I mean, I think that I think they're doing a great job with it. I mean, we don't know what's going on. Yeah, Jacob does have a criminal history. That's definitely true, and I think that's one reason why he hasn't been in the WWE yet. But I know he is working with Booker T in Texas, and I think you may see him there. I know Booker T's working with him and trying everything to get him ready and trying to get him into the WWE. Let me ask you this: if Cody and Roman wrestle main event Saturday night, does Cody have to win?
Yes.
Yeah, he can't do two. He can't lose.
Or you said main event Saturday.
I think he has to
you
win,
don't
or I think
the
they're
main
dragging the
event
story
Sunday?
too long. What do you guys think?
I think he just has to win, or it'll
Sunday
be all
night,
for nothing. It'd make no sense for him to lose. I mean, the first time, whatever, that's fine. I get it now, long time. But if he loses this time, it makes no sense. I don't get where they would be going with it.
They could have The Rock cost Cody.
I think,
or they could have Seth
Or
Orton,
or what about this?
and they could do a story. And
What?
I'm telling you, I could see him doing that, dragging it out another year.
And then here's another thing. They're not dragging it out. What if The Rock and Cody's playing Roman? The Rock really ain't with Roman.
Well, I've always wondered if they're gonna if there's that one thing they could pull where maybe like Rock and Roman start having a little friction about who's calling the shots, and something
Rock
happens
definitely
in
was.
the match. Rock gets ticked. Maybe the ref's out, or does the Rock bottom on Roman and leaves it for Cody? And
Glenn says Cody's going to finish the story at SummerSlam. So
The Rock and Roman.
Well, the only thing at SummerSlam, I don't think that's even gets him after Hogan's record. A lot of people think they're going to wait till after Hogan's record. I think it would have to be not till Survivor Series until. I think they got to go past SummerSlam to get that record.
Jordan says they're setting up a 3-time Rumble winner.
Well, Cody be a 3-time Rumble? I'll be the first time for one, right?
No, Stone Cold won 3.
Yeah, but not three in a row.
No, not 3 in a row.
That's what Jordan's been 3 in a
It's gonna
row.
be like the Kansas City Chiefs, gonna win 3 in a row.
No, Chiefs aren't winning 3 in a row.
I'm just happy they beat the 49ers.
Well,
Hate
supposedly, if you looked at that family tree, Rock is labeled as head of the table, I guess.
Yeah.
And Roman's just Roman. But The Rock is labeled as head of the table. So that might play a part in the feud between Rock and Roman.
They could have a massive bloodline story. I mean, to me, I think if you have Cody win, Cody splits off, does his thing. He's got plenty of stories with other wrestlers, and now you could have a story just with the bloodline.
Well, and the other one we're missing in here, and obviously based on what you hear, that I don't think they know what to do, is McIntyre. You got McIntyre out there beating the crap out of everyone, but they're also saying he's not signed to a contract. He didn't re-sign with them, so they're sort of in this spot of like where they don't know they can't really put him in stuff because if he decides not to re-up.
Well, I wonder if he has signed. The way they're pushing him, it sure seems like he's signed to me.
Yeah.
They've been saying that for a while now. I think he's going to win the Elimination Chamber, and I don't know if it'll be just him and Seth at WrestleMania, but I do think him and Seth will be at WrestleMania. And so I would like to see maybe a triple threat. I don't know who would want as that third. I mean, I think you could put Jay in there. He has ties both. Sammy.
I was hoping for Sammy, but then Sammy got put out of the. He's not as of right now. He's not going to make the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, he's not in the Elimination Chamber, but they could add somebody and make it a triple threat. I
tell you what I think is going to happen, and we'll see. I think it's going to be Drew and against Seth Rollins. I think Drew beats Seth Rollins for the belt, and Damian Priest cashes in and takes the belt from Drew. That's what I think is going to happen.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Or our truth is going to get the briefcase and try to cash in.
Well, he might. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
That'd actually be a good segment. Our Truth brings it down and try to cash it in, then he loses the briefcase, and then Priest doesn't. Which I want Priest to cash in though successfully.
Have you guys seen the video after? I forget what show was. A show last week where Gunther was out and beating the heck out of somebody, and R Truth come out and beat the crap out of Gunther and laid him out, and it was just beating the crap out of him, and we did the John Cena stuff and all kinds of stuff.
Childhood hero.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
I also heard Dustin might make a appearance. Walk Cody to the ring.
Well, I know his contract's about up unless he's re-signed. I think that would be awesome. I wish he could be in a tag match myself, but
yeah. I was about to say I don't know if he's still signed. I don't know I think Triple H and them would probably sign off on it, but with Khan, I don't know.
Well, we can find out. We can find out at the end of March at Squared Circle. He's going to be there. Squared Circle Expo. Dustin's going to be there, so you can always ask him.
Yep.
Like he tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tell us for sure.
I'll tell you, I think it's going to be a really good. Like I said, I'm really excited after the press conference. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was really good, and really enjoyed it. And I'm really excited for WrestleMania. And we still got a little less than 2 months, I think. So.
Now you want me to get nitpicky?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's WrestleMania 40, but it's not the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. I wish they quit saying that. March 31st of 85, that's next year. That's 40 years. This just happens to be WrestleMania 40 because the first one started at 0.
True.
And so they need to quit saying 40 years in the making. Well, no, it's not. It hasn't been 40 years. I told you to be nitpicky, but
okay, guys, we're gonna get started on the questions and stuff that we had. Who wants to start off? Who wants to go first? With the first question.
I can start one if you want.
Okay, and then we'll rotate.
All right. Think of one of your favorite wrestlers that maybe just you like, just one of your favorite wrestlers that never got a big push. If you could push one wrestler that you always felt like deserved it or you wanted to, but never got a big Intercontinental or WWE Championship, whatever, who would it be?
So you're saying somebody's never was champion?
Never had long, a big long push, like kind of the rocket push. If you could pick one wrestler that you always felt like should have, who would it be? Personally, I'm going with someone kind of modern. I'm going with Xavier Woods. I've always been on the train for Xavier Woods. I think he's got everything. A little smaller, but these days it don't matter. I think I'd like to see him at least get a good intercontinental run.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's very underrated.
How
Mine
far
right
back
now-
am I allowed to go?
What'd you say?
How far back am I allowed to go?
You any decade, any time, you can match it up anywhere. Just any wrestler that you always liked that never got a fair push in your opinion.
Well, I'll go Jerry Blackwell. I don't know if he ever wrestled in the WWE. I'm thinking he has house shows, but
It doesn't have to be WWE. That's just kind of my thing.
well, he wasn't even the AWA champion. I think he could have been a champion somewhere.
Was he a tag team champion though?
Well, kinda. That's going to be one of my questions, so you can't go there. But he was a tag team champion, but not very long.
Okay.
And Austin said a long run, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
the AWA only had those two, and then the light heavyweight. But there's no way he could have fit into that category. But since he weighed 400 pounds, but I would have liked to see him have at least a 6 month to a year run as the big man in AWA. I mean, he kept fighting the champions all the time. Why didn't they put the belt on him?
Yep.
He
I'm
just
going to say
a good one.
mine's Gable.
Okay.
He's had some tag team championships, but he's never had any singles gold. And I think he's deserving. I'm hoping he's the guy in a way that takes the belt from Gunther. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not, because they had two of the better matches that you would see last year. I mean, they were just great matches. So I'm going to go with Gable.
I think that's a good pick.
I'll go with well, my first number one would be Owen Hart, because he never got pushed like he should have, but some of that happened because things happened, because of what happened. But after that, I would go with Dolph Ziggler.
Yep.
He was I've enjoyed watching it. I always thought that he could have been a lot bigger star in WWE if they really gave him a push.
Yeah, I mean, they gave him the world title briefly, but not any good run, really. They never really treated him like that. That's a good one.
Rick Martel was an AWA champ for about a year.
Yeah, he was.
Well, that guy had demons. I think Texas Tornado could have done it if he wasn't so. He could figure his life out.
Yeah, he was pretty messed up in the WWE. When by the time he got there, he only had half a foot. When he had already lost.
We're getting some good names.
Yep.
Pedro Morales was the first Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, Pedro was pretty big. Tito had an Intercontinental Championship for a long time. Yeah, Norman Smiley. I always liked Norman Smiley. Warren, who you think?
The tough part is a lot of my favorite wrestlers have had pushes. I think one that I would he hasn't been in WWE, and he did have a good run in ROH and whatnot. He's on the end of his career. He did some TNA. Christopher Daniels.
Yes,
I've always liked him, and he's always been a real good worker. I know he's had some little bits of titles here and there, but he's always been someone I always liked.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites in TNA. Since nobody said it, I had a second one. I thought maybe someone might say it. My second is Cesaro.
Yeah,
Cesaro deserved a big push.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, next up, whoever wants to go, I'll go next with my question, and of course mine's complicated, so guys get ready for it. First question was your 3 most overrated wrestlers and why, and your 3 most underrated wrestlers and why.
Oh man.
Oh jeez.
And while you guys work on that, I'll give my.
Maybe you should give those questions out ahead of time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just one question, but when you say overrated, do you mean you said wrestle in just the ring or everything?
Yeah, just if you think they was overrated. Here, I'll give an example because I'll go with mine first. My number 3 most overrated was Sid Vicious. I don't think Sid was that good in the ring. I didn't think he was dedicated. He missed dates because he go play softball, and he still made a main event of WrestleMania, and I don't think it was deserving. Number 2, this may be a little controversial because I know he was very popular. Kevin Nash. I think Nash was the okay worker at best. I think he was good on the mic once he got the opportunity on the mic. If he never goes to WWE, he would never made it. If he would have stayed in WCW, and not, I know you guys gonna say, well, he was in WCW yet. The second time,
Yeah, but look at it when he was.
yeah,
Vinny
after,
Vegas and Oz and
Oz.
yeah. Once he made it in WWE, then he made it in WCW. Yeah, I think he's overrated, and I know he's a Hall of Famer. So, but in my opinion, he's overrated. This is going to maybe make some people mad. I know this will not make Jordan Bell mad, and that's Hulk Hogan. I think he is very overrated, and the reason for that is when I went back and thought about it, and this could be a bias because the fucker never showed up when I went to see him live, but but no, being serious, the times he didn't have the belt, he was not near as over. I think he needed the belt. If you stop and think about it, when the times he didn't have the championship belt, he was not near as relevant. And there's other wrestlers that didn't need a belt to be relevant. For example, Roddy Piper, Iron Sheik, Jake the Snake Roberts. I don't think Hogan would have never made it as big without the belt. That's just my opinion. And I still like Hulk Hogan. I'm not, I'm teasing, kind of, but about him not showing up. He showed up every time for Marcus. I think Marcus called, made sure he was going to be there before he went.
he knew better.
And I'll give while you guys are working, I'll give my 3 most underrated for me. One, because I think he was really good on the mic, and he played second string to Ric Flair. That was Arn Anderson. Actually, I think he might have been better overall technically in the ring than he wasn't as good as the flopping and the 60-minute man like Flair. But Arn Anderson, I think, is under one of my favorites. Barry Windham, again, second fiddle to Flair, and other guys like Steamboat. Which, don't get me wrong, Steamboat deserved it. Windham never. I mean, he did become a WCW champion, but he never made it to the next level. And I thought he should have. And then my number one, a guy I thought could have been pushed as a good. He was pushed as a bad guy. Had a pretty good Intercontinental run. I thought he should. I thought he could have been a world champion, and that's Mr. Perfect. There's not too many people that was better in the ring than him, and he was good on the mic. He was good as commentary. I'm a big Mr. Perfect fan, and I thought he was underrated. And then I know all 3 of these guys are in the Hall of Fame, so I know it's people gonna say, "Well, how are they underrated?" But that's just my opinion. Anybody ready?
I am. And this is just off the top of my head, and this is very little time you've given me to think about this. My overrateds, and this probably could cause all kinds of a stir, but who do I care? I had Alberto Del Rio. I never got it. They put the title on him, and I never got it. I could have said Shawn Michaels, but like I said, Shawn Michaels was good. I just didn't care for him. But I put Goldberg, believe it or not. I was a Goldberg fan at the time, but come on now. Did he really earn that? And I guess if you want to go down to it, you could say the Giant when he got the title on his first match ever. But see, now you got me thinking. So now I'm throwing all these names out. And then here's another one, Ronnie Garvin. A lot of people like Ronnie Garvin, but I think he had too big of a push. I mean, they put the title on him, and if you remember, he got the title off Flair, and then he asked for an extension for 45 days before he defended it. Then he lost it to Flair.
Yep.
Okay. And Flair do all those promos. Hey, I'm the champion. I defend every day. And you have to have a 45-day grace period before you take me on again. So that's who I have for my overs. My unders, Santino Morello. I really think they could have done a lot more with him. It's just like R-Truth. They could do a lot more with R-Truth too, I think, by putting a title other than the 24/7 title on him. But and then I guess he was the U.S. champion. But I had Otis. I've always been an Otis fan. I think they could do a lot more than making him look like a big goof. And then I had the Iron Sheik because all he was a transitional champion, and I know he was tag title holder for a while, but I think he could have held that belt longer than they let him have it. Hogan didn't have to take it right when he did. I think she could have ran and did a Sergeant Slaughter a year of that nastiness, and I think it'd been good.
Yep.
And that's just off the top of my head, having to think about it. But
I think the deal with Hogan and the Sheik was, I think Vince was trying to strike while the iron was hot. With Hogan just been in that movie and just everything fell in line. That's why I think it would have been better, like you said, if they'd give it more time and built the Sheik up more of the as the foreign beast. But I think it was all about timing why it went so fast.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can go. I was off the top of my head, so but we'll see. I want Hulk Hogan as well, like you. Of course, big reason why the company's still around today, but I don't think he'd get over in any other era. In my past his era, any other, I don't think he'd get over era. He's pretty much one note on promos. He did good, but he wasn't versatile in promos, in my opinion. And in the ring, he wasn't anything special. I just think he was in the perfect time, perfect place. Personally, that's just how I feel. Number 2, you guys aren't gonna be happy. I'm going to Flair, but not Rick. I'm going Charlotte.
Oh.
Charlotte Flair. Look, she's good. She's great. She's great. But is she the best women's wrestler? Like everybody? No. She's terrible at selling. She's selfish in selling, really. She can do it when she wants to, but she won't. She's terrible on the mic. She yells in the mic. She's not good on promos. She's great in the ring. Overall, though, I don't think she's top 3 women wrestler of all time. That's just my opinion. And
I got a question for you. Is she top 3 in WWE right now?
No.
She's not even wrestling right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying if she was competing right now, would she be top 3?
No.
Well, who's your top 3?
Well, let's see. Rhea, Bianca, and Becky are all 3 better than her right now.
Well, I agree with that. I thought you'd say Nia Jax, but then I'd have to
No, he ain't gonna say Nia.
drive to Muncie and slap you, or see you Saturday and slap you. I don't know what it days.
No, I like Charlotte. I just think she's a bit overrated.
It's the name.
And third, I don't know if they're really overrated. This is kind of just going off of their time. They got super big for a minute. They didn't really get pushed by WWE, but the fans were loving them. Rusev, I never got it. Thought he was boring. Rusev Day, honestly, the only thing I liked about Rusev Day was the guy that was with Rusev that would come out. He was in the Vaudevillains, I think. Aiden English. He was great. He was the only thing that I liked about Rusev Day. Rusev himself, never got it. He was kind of boring in the ring. He wasn't bad, but not much personality. So never got that.
Real quick, the doctor here said he attempted the Persian Club Challenge here in Pennsylvania in 1999 at an indie show. That would have been awesome.
And that's where they do the Groundhog Day place.
Yep.
Was the Sheik there that night? Iron Sheik there with those clubs?
I'm assuming he was. Oh, Tanner Brothers said that Bianca is overrated.
I'd like to know why you think that.
I don't think she's overrated.
Maybe she's pushed a lot, but
she's
I don't think she's overrated.
Overpushed.
A deserving overpush, in my opinion, though.
Deserving how?
She's the biggest woman star they got right now in terms. She's John Cena of the women. She's getting all, she's getting the sales.
Is she that because the WWE is telling you that, or is she that because she's actually that good in the ring? That's the thing.
I will say
people get fed by the WWE that this is supposed to be the person, and a lot of people eat it up, not really look at what goes on in the ring.
I'll say this for experience for me. You can ask my grandpa. Sasha versus Bianca, I wasn't sold on it at WrestleMania. I thought Bianca was too early. I thought she was too green, and that match it turned me towards her. Really, I thought she proved herself in that match, and she kept proving herself after. Personally, for me, so I actually wasn't on the train to begin with.
I think the problem for Bianca is, and it can be for Charlotte at times, and it probably could be for Rhea a little bit, but I think Rhea's adapted better than both of them in this thing. I think it's hard to find people physically that can keep up with Charlotte and to keep up with Bianca and to keep up with Rhea. I think Rhea does a better job than both of them as far as adapting. I'm just talking about in matches. Just me
Well,
personally.
Rhea can put on a good match with anybody. I think that's my biggest thing with Charlotte is she can't. I don't think she can lead a match as much. And Bianca, she's not all the way there yet, but I think she's proven herself that she can put on a great match with almost anybody. I mean, Becky and her and Sasha did a great match. I thought her and Asuka is an underrated match at WrestleMania as well. So, just my
Arthur
opinion.
said Sheik did 55 reps. He did 5.
Well, that's still pretty impressive. You did 5. A lot of people can't get those clubs up off the ground into that position.
Glenn wants to know if he called him a jabroni afterwards.
All right, I'll do my underrated real quick. Umaga. As a kid, Umaga was scary, but he was so good in the ring. And he's getting a little more love now, but I just wish that at the time he was getting, because he was very, very good. Him and John Cena in the last minute stay match, still one of my favorite matches to watch. At the 2007 Royal Rumble, I believe. X-Pac, I think he was very underrated in his time. Very different style of wrestling when he was coming up. For most, a lot of people didn't do what he was doing. I think he's very underrated in the ring and on the mic. He's kind of overlooked in DX and other stuff. And I went with Test. I think Test could have been something big. He kind of got pushed out when he was supposed to get his big storyline, but I think he could have been really big, and I thought he had all the tools for it.
I was laughing because I had X-Pac as one of my overrated.
Oh, did you?
Well, didn't X-Pac kind of lose his spot because of his drug problems? And that was the same with Taz.
Yeah. Well, no, Test.
No, but I don't know. I mean, he's okay, but if he wouldn't have been a part of DX and the NWO, nobody would have ever known who he was. I mean,
he would have known the 1, 2, 3 kid. That would have been his spot.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody would have ever known who he was.
He was in that big feud with Razor Ramon.
Yeah,
and got over because that's how he got over.
Yeah, but
originally, I know what you're saying.
And then he got friends with the Clique, and you know how.
All because of Razor Ramon.
Hey, that's politics and wrestling. That's how it works.
Politics and everything.
That's true.
Okay, who wants to go next?
But my most overrated was Goldberg. But she was going to say that. But my other one I had was, or other ones I had, DDP. I mean, really, what did DDP do? A cutter, and that was it.
Give me the ball.
I like DDP, but I mean, I thought he was overrated. And then also, I agreed with you with Nash.
DDP got made in that feud in WCW with Savage. I think that's where he finally got made a little bit. I always enjoyed DDP. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, to know him, his story, how he
story and stuff's awesome.
Yeah, he didn't really get into the actual stuff until way down the line.
Yeah,
so.
He was almost 40, I think, when he started wrestling. I think he started managing at 35. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he started late, real late. Okay, who else you have to go here? Marcus?
No, I went. It's Warren's turn.
I think just Warren. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like Marcus dropping this on me, and a lot of like I said, Charlotte, Goldberg. You guys put a lot of stuff up. And it is funny though. I was talking with Chris Chaos today, and he had a thing about these guys are overrated and stuff. And I may step on some toes, but hey, that's what makes it fun, right? I feel like in no particular order, I maybe say Roman Reigns I feel is overrated. And I say a lot of stuff, not that I, it's just where they're at. They're still great. And what he does is still great. But like I said, you watch a Roman Reigns match, Superman punches and spears, rest
Well,
holds.
the other two moves he knows, and then everybody else takes up the slack. So
Exactly. And the only reason the crowd's hyped to these shows now is to see him get beat. They want that. They don't go there to see him. They want to see the person beat him. And so I feel it's just right now, I mean, his mic work is great, but everything else is meh. One of the guys in the go back, and it's I remember was it 8 Moves of Doom? Bret Hart. His match. I think the other people that Bret Hart took on in major matches, Stone Cold made that WrestleMania match.
mm-hmm.
And I just think he did have that very bland. And like I said, he did the 8 Moves of Doom. He would do this, and you'd see that all through his match. Is always the same thing, and that's what everyone was always criticizing him with. And then, I mean, it's just sort of I'll have to piggyback on Austin too with Charlotte. I mean, it's like I think of it like when I see her come out, I'm like, this is a match I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna get a beer. That's what I consider overrated is when someone comes out that you just don't want to watch. You're like, I don't want this person in my face, and it is the fact that she's in high end stuff. Underrated. I'm probably going to go with some smaller guys. I feel like Shane Helms, the Hurricane.
That's a good one.
He was a heck of a worker, and they saddled him with that gimmick for a bit, and he made the best of it. Could have, maybe he could have gone further. Another guy I've always liked, and I thought should have gotten a little bit more love, was a cruiserweight, Billy Kidman. I always enjoyed watching him do what he did in the ring. And then probably my top underrated guy that when he moved to the big stage, they completely fumbled. They had this glorious thing. Taz was a monster in ECW, and they moved him to WWE, and he just got put to the back burner. But if you watch ECW matches that he's had with guys, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to WWE, and it's like he's a footnote and stuff now. So.
And then he got hurt.
Yeah.
Surprised no one said Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
I don't want to get put in one of those 1,001 holds.
Yeah, the guy had it. He just wasn't tall enough. Wasn't big enough. Well, he's got Vince politics.
Tyson Kidd.
Yeah, Tyson Kidd. He was really good.
Yeah.
I think he could have got over if all the injuries didn't happen because he was really good. Glad he's doing the matches and stuff now, mostly for women. I think he's producing a lot of the women matches.
Yep, and trains a lot of the women too. Works with a lot of them. Okay, first round question. Everybody went, or
No, you're the way where it's going.
Okay.
Me and you were the only one. Yours was a 2-part. That should have been 2 different questions.
That was a whole nother show.
Okay.
Free through everybody.
Okay, well, go ahead. Somebody go.
Go here, I'll go. Paul. All right. And you can do however many you want. And I have 3.
Might just make it 2 questions.
Maybe do
I'll put-
another one next week.
Yeah.
Week after that or something.
Not counting Andre the Giant, your top 3 Hogan opponents.
Okay, you said top 3 Hogan opponents, not Andre.
Yeah, Andre cannot be one of them because that's almost everybody will probably say that.
That's a little tough for me.
Well, I'll tell you mine.
3.
I had Piper because the chemistry between them two, and that really kind of helped set up Hulkamania and everything as well. Well, actually, Hulkamania was set. It helped build Hulkamania. I had Dr. D. David Schultz because if you ever seen any of them matches, you could see Hogan knew how to brawl too. Because he had to adapt to Dr. D's brawling style. And then I had the Iron Sheik, of course, that made Hulkamania what it is, but they could have ran that for another year or better, as I said earlier.
Yeah, Glenn just put up mine. Piper, Macho, and Orndorff would be mine. Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, and Macho Man would be mine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, pulling it in as a kid. I mean, yeah, I would probably say the ones that always stand out is Macho and the Mega Powers, and then him versus Warrior. You know, those really stood out. Now, can I count the Heenan family? Because
Yeah.
I always thought Hogan versus the Heenan family was something that I mean, they did have Andre, but they, you know, he did have, you know, there was with Bundy, you know, remember the infamous Saturday Night Main Event, breaking his ribs by giving him the avalanche, and Heenan was so obsessed with beating Hogan that it was just something that, like, you know, like Marcus said, that was something that drug on. That was over years. That thing even filtered over into WCW. So.
And don't get me started on that promo, or we won't be able to finish the freaking
Because
show.
you got John Studd too, who he fought with a lot. Now the Heenan family and Rick Rude and
That's why Marcus
Austrian and One Man Gang.
went up Schultz.
I would say
Hey, but if you've seen some of those matches before the 2020 interview, Schultz was a brawler, and Hogan had to adapt to him, not Schultz adapting to Hogan.
Yep.
pretty much names everybody said except I would add Yokozuna in there as well. I like.
Yep.
I did like them matches.
Well, and he had a pretty good feud with Undertaker. Also,
that just reminded me of the whole thing. Undertaker was doing like a little thing talking about that match, and if you see him doing the tombstone on Hulk Hogan, he does not even come close to the mat. He said he heard Hulk Hogan was like, "You got me, brother." He was not happy.
Yep.
For me, I mean, it's tough because, you know, I've watched all the Hulk Hogan, so a lot of it with you growing up. But like in terms of feuds and stuff, I don't know. I mean, as a kid, I absolutely loved the Ultimate Warrior at that time, and seeing that match, everything, it was very entertaining, and just kind of it felt really, really big and stuff as a kid. So probably that, and probably Macho as well. I don't really know what I would say for the third one personally, because I just, as in terms of big feuds like that, Andre's kind of the other one that comes to mind for me. So.
Okay, who's next question?
I can go.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. For most of us, with the exception of Austin, let's do a little turn back the clock. But now this will be like Austin for now. We're early 20-year-old guys getting ready to break into the business. Who would you want to be your mentor? At any time, any level of wrestling, anytime, any person. Me personally, Macho Man Randy Savage. I felt that he had the ring skills, he had the mic skills, the charisma, he flashed the dress, everything. I would love to have learned under Macho Man the entire business.
I got to go Shawn Michaels.
Because the partying and the sexy boy, yeah.
Well, are you saying anytime, right?
Yeah, at any time, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, an old, you know, Shawn Michaels now could get a 20-year-old mentor. I think he would have a lot of knowledge, you know, for every aspect of it. And I think that would be someone. I mean, I think it's shown he's done it with actually some wrestlers. Like a lot have got a lot from him now. Like Carmelo, and Wesley also have talked about how big they are. So that for me, that's probably what I'd say.
For me, Dusty Rhodes. And the reason I say that for me is because here I am, 5 foot tall, maybe, where he was a great big, heavy set guy. I mean, he's gonna have to look at me and find a way for me to get over. I mean, I don't have a great body like a Shawn Michaels, or, you know, and I'm not 6'6", or so. I think Dusty would might be able to come up with something for me to use to help me get over.
Could you see a 20-year-old Tony Gonzalez dancing in the ring like Dusty Rhodes?
Polka dots.
Big fro. Yeah,
that's what I always see is a big fro.
Hey,
I had a big.
As I say, I've seen big fro.
I've seen pictures. I've never got to see in person. I wasn't old enough.
And then the other one, I got a second one, would be Paul Heyman.
That's a good one.
I got two. Mr. Perfect for one. He was just all around. And I would say Kevin Von Erich. David Von Erich probably, but I didn't see a lot of his stuff because, of course, he died earlier in my watching. But Kevin Von Erich was pretty good too. Kind of mixed the two because Perfect could talk, Kevin could wrestle, and Perfect could wrestle too. But Kevin had that it to him.
I'm gonna say Triple H.
Definitely got a great mind for the business. And you see how many people he may have been a jerk and politics and stuff at one time in WWE, but he sure helped a lot of young wrestlers now. That's for sure. And so is Shawn Michaels, even though he was a big jerk at one time.
I thought of Triple H as well. Those are the first two that came in mind, and it probably is because they're both doing it now.
And another guy I think would be cool would be he's not a wrestler, but Michael Cole, because he's been in the business for so long.
Another good one. Jim Ross.
Well,
Jim Ross.
Corny, Jim Cornette. Well, and if you want to really get down to it, Bobby Heenan. I mean,
and Paul Heyman.
And
that was a great one. I'm a big Paul Heyman fan.
Or even Bischoff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
that knowledge.
But not guy's name completely escaped me now. He brought in the Attitude Era, what's his name that Bischoff hates.
oh, you mean
Russo?
Russo, yes, not Russo.
The other Vince.
Yeah.
They're both kind of the same boat now, aren't they? No.
Another guy I would say, but I'm older than he is, but would be Pat McAfee.
Yeah, but you're a Pat McAfee, Mark. So
hey, well, yeah, I am, but the whole thing around it is he knows how to build a brand.
Knows how to market.
I mean, if you're in that kind of business, he'd be a good mentor because.
I agree with you. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh, I know.
You gotta go down to the canal and get a little drunk, and there you go.
One that just came to mind that real quick.
Allegedly.
One that came to mind. I think would have been really cool if they passed away. Eddie Guerrero. I think he could have passed along a lot of knowledge in terms of going through stuff, not even just in wrestling, but outside and everything, and all that. So I think him as well.
What about Rey Mysterio? He's been through,
especially for smaller guys,
Yeah.
Well, Owen Hart been good too, but you'd have to go to the mansion to have it done, and I ain't going to the dungeon and learn nothing in that building. Owen would have to come to me.
Did we get through our first rounds?
I think my dad still needs to do one.
Yep, Chris got to go.
I still gotta do one.
We're just going to do two, guys. We won't do three tonight.
Okay, I got to
up for next time.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
If you were booking this year's WrestleMania, what would you do at the main event?
Cody versus Roman, straight up. Cody wins, clean. I don't want The Rock to interfere. I think it will take too much away from Cody.
No, I mean that don't have to be your main event. I mean, what
I know, but that's what I want. That's what I want. That's my main event.
I want that main event too.
Well, it'd be good if it was clean. That's the word, clean. That's what I said.
I wanted to
Dustin Rhodes in to maybe kind of help Cody offset the bloodline. Cody needs to come with people.
I just don't want any.
But then it'll be a big clusterfuck, and then it'll end up being 400 people in the ring at one time, and they need to bar everybody from ringside, one-on-one.
Yeah, I just don't want anybody else to take out Roman for Cody. Like you said, The Rock interfering and takes out Roman. I don't want that. Maybe because.
You think Cody would take it, or you think Cody said no? I don't want to win that way as well.
Now, if they did that and he did that, I think that would work. I would like that. That'd be cool if they did that and he didn't do it. So that would be interesting. That's a good way to think about it.
I know it worked for Von Erich and Flair. I mean, I know that's 40 years ago now, but Von Erich wouldn't pin Flair when he had the chance because Michael Hayes knocked him out. So,
yeah, it's a good point.
I think we could probably go back to, gosh, what was it? Mania, was it Brett and Sean, when Sean won his first belt?
10,
And
11,
you had
12.
the boyhood dream come true, and you had Michaels in the ring crying over the title. I mean, I think that and probably that's the only way you could just do this with the Mania with those two. I would agree that I think that's the main event I'd want too, is Roman, Cody going over Roman clean, but you got to have that moment that has to be there. You can't have that filtered out with anything else, with no other interferences. It just has to be that way. And up until really last year too, if you look at, they always had those WrestleManias that the whole, their whole rule was, we want clean finishes, we want storylines to end, we don't want a lot of gimmicks. And so, I mean, I think that's as the however highway or road we get to it, that is your finale that the WWE has to do to continue on everything. Really, one of those you have to win clean.
And Cody wins clean, and then Dustin shows up.
Yeah. I think there will be attempt for interference, and I think it'll be blocked. Is what I think. I don't think anybody will ever get the interfere, because I think other people will intervene.
Jay's going to probably come into his side.
Yep.
Since they've played that up, that Cody was the one that got him over there. That's how he repays, and maybe super kicks Jimmy and Solo ringside.
Depending on how long the ramp is.
They could bring back the little ring scooters from WrestleMania 3.
Well, you remember a few years ago,
they didn't move very fast.
Forever to get there.
Okay, we're ready to start the second one.
Round two.
We're only going to. Mine's a quick one this time, guys. I don't have a 10-part one. You get to put together your own, what you think would be a great tag team, and to your knowledge, they have never teamed before.
I get the second question. It'll fall into this.
I've got two down for mine. My first one was Obi Femi, who's in NXT. I don't know if everybody's seen him. He's a complete beast, and I would tag him with Bobby Lashley. I think that would be Road Warrior-esque type tag team. I think they would be complete beast. And my other one, these two, the reason I put these number two, because they may have teamed before, because they're both European wrestlers and come from Europe, and that's Dragunov and Gunther. I know they've wrestled each other. I don't know if they've ever tagged before, but I think Dragunov and Gunther would be an unstoppable tag team.
Okay. Yeah. Two names just popped in my mind. This is a weird one. I don't think anybody would think of this other than me, but I think these two guys would work really well together. Kind of a power and quick, and both of them can kind of do honestly both things. I'm going to go with Big E and Shelton Benjamin. I think they could be a really good tag team. Both have wrestling background, amateur wrestling background. Big E's very quick for a big guy, B-power. Shelton's very versatile, can do everything. I think that could have been a really, really good tag team that could have got really over. So.
Yeah, I think I can come up with two. That the one I would like the most was supposed to happen, but never really did, and that is Ken Shamrock and Dan the Beast Severin. They were at that time when they had them all in there. They wanted to do a little shoot fighting group. They're going to have Steve Blackman is going to be part of the group too, but it just sort of fizzled away. And it's one of my personal favorites because Severin's from my hometown of Coldwater, so it was always cool. And then the other one I probably would have liked to have seen was maybe Adam Cole and in his prime Shawn Michaels.
That'd be a good one.
Okay, Marcus.
All right. Owen Hart, Chris Benoit.
Wow, that'd be.
Yeah.
Yep. Be a good one.
Chris?
I was thinking,
I know I smell smoke.
I'm gonna say Kurt Angle and Mr. Perfect.
Ooh. That's a good one. The really
Guy up here said Kurt Angle and Chad Gable. That would be good.
he should have been his son.
Yeah. Yeah, who wants to do the second question?
You want me to do mine? Because it kind of fits into what you said.
Okay.
Okay. And you don't have to do 5. I did 5. I put your top 5 tag team one-hit wonders. That means they teamed together and they won the titles, but it only happened one time and they never teamed again that I'm aware of. And when you're ready, I can give you mine.
Go ahead.
Manny Fernandez and Dusty Rhodes,
Raging Bull.
NWA champions, one time only. Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson, WCW. Tito Santana and Rick Martel, they were Strike Force, but they only teamed up once and went on to be tag champs. Jerry Blackwell and Ken Patera, this is AWA stuff. And Jesse Ventura and Adrian Adonis. They were all hot just long enough to be champs, and then once they lost the belts, they kind of fizzled apart. And that's a lot of old school stuff. So
Mine is going to be because they won the championships in Japan is Dr. Death and Gordy.
those guys were beasts.
Yeah, Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Dr. Death. That match against the Steiner brothers is unbelievable.
Mm. And they beat them.
the crap out of each other.
And they ended up winning.
Yep.
That was on the Clash of the Champions, if you want to go back and find it.
Yep.
See, makes y'all think.
Rock and Sock Connection count?
Well, it was a one-hit wonder.
Yep.
And they weren't really even together when they were champs. They were fighting so bad.
I mean, that between that one and then was the 2-man power trip, Triple H and Stone Cold, they had the belts, right? They had the
they did.
tag belts and then
I was gonna say that one too.
East-West Connection, that was Jesse and Adonis. So we got Mr. Doctor there is a old school guy.
And they also had Murdoch and Adonis.
What about Kane and Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Team Hell No.
Yeah, Team Hell No. I used to love some of the promos, the anchor managers, classes and stuff. The meetings, that was so great.
I can't really remember. I think they were only champions once. They had like a decent run together, but it was more just they were together because of going against DX. Rated RKO. I think they were only champions in that time and only once. I could be wrong, but that was a team that came up together. And also Ray and Edge. Back in like the SmackDown 6 era, Ray and Edge were tag. I think they were only tag champs once, but also I could be wrong. So
didn't Hogan and Edge have the belts too?
They did. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so did Kane and X-Pac too, and then it was the Tori Wilson, was that? No, Tori.
No, it was the other Tori.
Tori something. Yeah,
Tori.
The tough enough trainer, if you want to call her that, even.
Did Kane and Taker have the belts?
I think they did. I have to look.
I think so.
I think they might have. Yeah. Yeah, I just got those 3. I don't think I can come up with any more.
Well, no, and I had to think about it for a little bit.
Okay, who wants to do their next question?
I can go.
Okay.
It's just sort of a follow-up on my first one. Now, who would you like to be your manager? Present people not included. Because I know you'd all pick Warren Misery.
Well, I can't answer that. I don't know who I'd want that. Right?
I would go with Jimmy Hart just because dude was always around belts. Gold was always, when there's Jimmy Hart, there was always gold.
Ooh.
Mine's well, I would originally say Bobby Heenan, but I'm gonna go Paul Heyman.
He's around now.
He said, I think he was talking about himself. Can't pick him.
He was talking about himself.
Yeah, can't
Yeah,
pick me.
say the question again.
Who would you? So you've evolved as your wrestler. Who do you want to be your manager? Not
Okay.
including me. You can't pick me.
Well, I'll go with Bobby. Bobby Heenan or Jim Cornette, one of the two. Or Slick. I like Slick too, but I don't think I'd want him as my manager. He didn't really bring a lot to the team except a mouthpiece. Well, yeah.
Well, if he danced when when one man when Akeem's song was going, them two dancing in the ring together. You could have been doing your jive so bro, and he'd been.
You want a side note on Slick? Next time we're in Louisville, we're going to go get a picture in front of the church because he's a preacher down there in Louisville. So we're going to cross the river and make a point to head down his church. And maybe he'll be outside trimming flowers or something. I don't know. I ain't going to go in the church, but we're going to go down and see where Slick preaches.
I mean, we need to get Mike King to come out to jive so bro.
I would probably say Paul Heyman. Heenan, growing up is watching the old stuff with you. Heenan was always someone, even as for me as a kid, he was someone that was always just kind of fun to watch and very just, he was entertaining and just all that. But I think Paul Heyman for me now, just because, and it might just be because, I grew up kind of more in his era, but yeah, that's probably what I'd say.
He just adds so much to the wrestlers. Well, perfect example, that press conference. If you guys go back and watch that and watch his facial expression when Rock slapped Cody, I mean, it was just outstanding. I mean, it helped make it. I mean, yeah, Heyman's unbelievable.
Did you see?
Mike King to wear the Akeem suit.
That would be awesome.
I was liking the fact that Captain Lou Albano was brought up too.
Yeah.
He did
I would,
well.
I would probably say Heyman, or man, it's hard. But everybody said them all, but probably Heyman or Cornette. I was always a Cornette fan when I wasn't watching WWE back then. It was NWA. I don't know. He was just a good heel manager.
Oh yeah, him and his tennis racket.
Oh yeah, tennis racket.
Watching him fall
off the apron,
the
scaffold, but
blow out both knees. Yeah.
Thanks,
Bubba Rogers was supposed to catch him.
Bubba Rogers, yeah, boss man, Bubba Rogers, yep.
Hey.
Well, he was on there a minute ago. He was over on the table, it looked like, there for a second.
He's
Almost on the table now.
There's our special guest.
Austin's cat, Tony's dog.
Yeah, she's back behind me messing around somewhere.
Okay, is everybody went the second round? You still?
I still have.
Okay.
I haven't won it either, but you can go.
Okay.
What's when you're watching a show? What's more important to you? Is it the moves or the story? Like when you watch a match, I think it's the story.
For me,
it's the story.
I'm a moves guy. I'm watching it for the moves. They don't have to be the flips, the top rope stuff. It doesn't have to be a lot of that. I mean, like I said, I've really gravitated to like New Japan wrestling and stuff, where they really they tell the story with the moves and the action they do in the ring without speaking. So, I look at the moves. I watch a lot of that stuff to see because I feel that that's what helps make a match really good. So,
I'm kind of going to cheat here, but it's really on even playing for me. So I'm going to say it's really even for me. It's both for me. I think you need a really good story with it. And it doesn't have to be, but I think you need the wrestling to be good, because if you have a good story and you go out there and neither one of the people are doing anything entertaining, it doesn't have to be high flying or anything, but doing nothing in the ring, what's all that story for? So for me, it's really kind of an even deadlock for me. If you can just give me an entertaining story and then just make that story come alive in the ring as well, that's what I really want. So that's kind of my cheat answer.
Yeah, for me, watching TV product, I think you got to have stories. I mean, because I'm watching every TV show, SmackDown. I'm watching Impact. I'm watching, so I got to have some stories, or because I'm watching 6 or 7 hours of wrestling a week. If I don't have no stories, it's going to get old. Now going to independent wrestling, it's a little bit different because a lot of them can't set up stories because you're going there once a month or once every 6 weeks or once every 2 months. But I still want for my story, I got to have good selling, and I got to have facial expressions and stuff. If the guys don't sell the moves, or they don't have good facial expressions and stuff during the match, it kind of ruins it for me. So I mean, I like the good moves. Don't get me wrong. There's some moves that's getting. I think we're in independent wrestling. We're getting a little bit too much of. But I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to.
I'll say that.
I agree with that. I think it's the selling. I think that's what bothers me more than anything is the no selling. But I think if you have two guys in there and you can do the moves, because the moves do matter.
Yeah.
But if they're selling and telling a story, to me, that's the matches I'm more invested in than any other ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And independent's different than
Yeah.
TV
It's
product.
different. What do you think, Marcus?
I like a good story with an occasional surprise move stuck in there where you don't see it coming, especially if they're getting ready to change who's in the lead of the match. As Tony brought up, we are seeing overrated stuff, a lot of overused stuff. I won't say where we was at, but me and Tony noticed at one show that they did the faking out the crowd 3 times in the same show where they made them all move and then throw the opponent into the chairs. And it happened 3 times in the same show. It's like, okay, you guys really need to rehearse what you're going to do because you're overusing this stuff.
We always had a show where the little guy tried to come off the ropes to the big guy up crossbody about 5 times, and it failed every time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't mean it well, and I'm at the dub, and they'll know who I'm talking about. The guy drops 5 to 6 elbows and then goes for a pin. Well, dude, you have yet to pin anybody with that, but yet you do it every week.
I know who you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, and
Yeah.
and it's just a lot of over. And I love chops, but come on, guys, the chops are getting overused. Every match, let's go around the ring and chop everybody, and then
Super
out
kicks.
your turn around the ring. Let's chop everybody, and I love a good chop, but come on, guys, every match.
This is a good good one. Cornette versus Dangerously in Pittsburgh, early
Yep.
90s.
Yep. Dennis Racket and the car phone. Yep.
Car phone. Well, that was a cell phone, was it? That because that used
Yeah, but it never had the antenna and it was real big. Looked like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, look more like a walkie-talkie. Yeah. Midnight Express, best tag team out there next to the Road Warriors. Lane and Eaton. That version of the Midnight Express.
Oh, not Bart Gunn and Bob Holly?
Who was the team that won it? Was it Jannetty and 1-2-3 Kid that held the belt one night and lost it the next? Or was that the team you were just mentioning?
The new Midnight Express?
I just remember they got pissed because they won it at a pay-per-view and then had it on
remember.
Monday Night Raw and lost it. They were very transitional. I'm surprised nobody said Shockmaster is an underrated wrestler. But
Since we're on the subject, real quick, Marcus, what do you think the most overused move at independent shows are?
Well, like I said, chops are going and super kicks, but they're starting to slow those super kicks down. But yeah, those chops. I mean, I like a good chop, but every match.
I think we're back.
We're back, guys. Well, we are.
We never lost it.
Yeah.
What happened?
I think they thought we never lost you. Maybe we did.
They might have lost us.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm in charge now. Every time this happens, so you guys got any stories? Hey, Alston, you grew up with those guys. Tell us stories about your father and your grandfather before they get back. Tell us anything you want.
You put me on the spot, man.
Well, come on. I'm sure you got a story that you've been holding in your back pocket for. Now's your chance.
I don't know.
He's chicken, Warren. He's chicken.
We're back.
Austin let us down. Well, look, Ward got up and left. Oh, here he comes. He's got a book full.
He's got
I give Austin the fourth one.
Welcome back, guys. We missed you.
I told Austin to give us a story about Tony and Chris where he was off air, but he wouldn't do it.
You put me on the spot, man. There's too much to think at once, and what I should and shouldn't say.
I asked a question real quick, Marcus. We faded out. What was do you think the most overused move at independent shows are?
Well, right now it's chops. Like I said, everybody chops in every match, and they all hit every four corners, and then you flip them around, and then the other guy chops the next one, and it used to be super kicks, but they're starting to slow the super kicks down. So
jumping between the ropes, what they call that? Where they jump through the ropes.
Suicide dive. Yeah.
Suicide dives. Yeah. Yeah, we see a lot of those.
Mm-hmm. Back in the old day, I thought they used to, and I could be wrong. I'm not in the locker room, but I thought they used to go over matches so a lot of that stuff doesn't get reused. Like if I'm working the leg, then Warren and his match doesn't work the leg, and Austin and his match doesn't work the leg. The leg's been used. Now find your own body part to work on, and well, yeah, that show where they kept.
I think that'd be a good idea again. Okay, we got Austin left for a question.
Yeah.
That's our internet's on.
Yeah.
All right. You ready? All right.
Yeah,
Out of these.
Okay. Yep. We'll give it a try. Our internet's messing up pretty bad.
All right. Are we good? Can you hear me? Are we good?
Go. I can hear you.
Okay. You guys can. I don't know if they can.
Well, that's right. There he goes.
Okay. Out of these three wrestlers, if you had to erase one of these and everything they did, they never existed in the wrestling world, who would it be? The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, or Andre the Giant?
Oh, for crying out loud.
They never existed. Everything they did is gone.
What was the question again?
Yeah, you keep cutting out on our end.
Okay.
I don't know about their end, but our end, I'm hearing like every other word.
He's signing over here. Okay. If you had out of these three wrestlers, if you had to erase everything they did, they never existed in the wrestling world.
I think they're gone again. I'd have to, man, that's hard because Andre was such a.
Without Andre, you wouldn't have WrestleMania 3.
And without Stone Cold, you wouldn't have the Attitude Era. And without the Undertaker, you wouldn't have 30 years. See, that's rough.
But also, you had Austin versus Taker for that run too. That was the Ministry of Darkness versus Taker. Stephanie on the cymbal, and
it's tough. Even for me, who didn't watch Andre like that, it's very tough.
I don't know that I could pick one of those. I guess Taker. And I hate to say that.
I know, yeah, that was where I was sort of going to is Taker. I mean, he contributed a lot, and he did the length, and like I said, the streak. But
the moments weren't as big as the other two. I'm kind of in the same ballpark. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same ballpark, which is weird for me to say because I didn't watch Andre like that. I've just seen bits and pieces, but yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I'm kind of on the same with you guys. I think Stone Cold is the one that's safe out of the three for me. It's between Undertaker and Andre. Hopefully, we can get them to answer here soon.
Well, if it wasn't for Stone Cold and flipping off Mike Tyson, then that wouldn't have. The Attitude Era never would have happened. Andre, like you said, WrestleMania 3, that's what put WrestleMania on the map. Taker, you're right. He had a 30-year run.
Where are you taking us, Austin?
Oh, I need my charger. My phone's about to die.
These two over here.
I'm going to say Andre.
Us three went Taker.
What do you say, Andre?
All right. I think we're going to go ahead. And
I'm going to say Andre. I don't know if they can hear us or not, though.
I can hear
I
you.
said
Can
let's
you
go
hear
ahead
us?
and end it.
Can you hear
We
us?
can hear you.
yeah, we appreciate everybody watching.
Okay.
Huh?
You can hear us now?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Every other word.
We broke the internet.
We're gonna go ahead and end it, guys, because it's just a wreck right now.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Monday. This has been GWR. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Have a good night.
4:30 tomorrow. Vinny Bichetti. 2 o'clock.
Oh,
4:30
nice.
tomorrow.
A mess at the end.
That's
We're
what that
still
is. That's pretty clear.
We're still live, but it was a mess at the end. No, no difference.
You guys had to cut my question off, man.
It won't let me close the show.
I can't close it.
It won't play the
4:30 tomorrow. Vinny
Stay
Bichetti.
on